Good evening, and welcome to Zoom In News. This week is shaping up to be a pivotal one in global markets, with a lineup of key events including U.S. labor market updates, Federal Reserve meeting minutes, and critical inflation data from both the Eurozone and China. We'll also see U.S. markets close midweek to honor former President Jimmy Carter. Let's break it all down in detail so you know exactly what to expect. 1. U.S. Jobs Report, December in Focus. The highlight of the week comes on Friday, when the December jobs report is released. Economists predict that the U.S. economy added 154,000 new jobs last month, with the unemployment rate holding steady at 4.2%. While this figure signals a cooling labor market, it still reflects solid growth. However, the backdrop has been anything but stable. November data showed 227,000 jobs added, a strong recovery from October's weaker numbers, which were dampened by strikes and hurricane disruptions. This volatility has investors and analysts on edge, as the labor market plays a central role in shaping Federal Reserve policy decisions. Why does this matter? The Fed is signaling caution on rate cuts, and a still resilient labor market could align with their gradual approach. Investors have priced in just 2 rate cuts for 2025, suggesting the Fed is not rushing to loosen monetary policy. 2. Early labor market indicators this week. Ahead of Friday's jobs report, we'll see several important updates that offer clues about labor market health. Tuesday, the JOLTS job openings report will reveal the number of unfilled positions, a critical indicator of demand for workers. Wednesday, data on private sector hiring and the weekly jobless claims report will provide further insights. Notably, the jobless claims data is being released a day early due to Thursday's National Day of Mourning for former President Jimmy Carter, during which U.S. markets will remain closed. 3. The Fed's December meeting minutes. On Wednesday, the Federal Reserve will publish the minutes from its December meeting. At that meeting, the Fed enacted its third consecutive 25 basis point rate cut but adopted a more cautious tone regarding further monetary easing. Fed Chair Jerome Powell described the decision as a closer call, signaling that policymakers were divided. Analysts believe the minutes could shed light on these divisions, particularly the dissent by Cleveland Fed President Susan Hammock. What to watch for in the minutes? Diverging opinions among Fed members on rate policy. Discussions on how fiscal, trade, and immigration policies might shape the Fed's future outlook. Additionally, we'll hear directly from Fed officials this week, with speeches from Governor Lisa Cook on Monday, Governor Philip Waller on Wednesday, Richmond Fed President Thomas Barkin and Philadelphia Fed President Patrick Harker later in the week. U.S. stock markets. A slower start to 2025? The U.S. stock market wrapped up 2024 on a high note, with the S&P 500 gaining a remarkable 23%, marking its best 2-year streak since the late 1990s. However, the first days of 2025 have seen stocks stumble slightly as investors weigh risks like inflation and economic uncertainty. Why the concern? Markets are wary of overly strong labor data, which could signal a hotter economy and stoke inflation fears. The Fed's cautious stance on rate cuts has also added pressure, as policymakers recently revised upward their inflation expectations for 2025. For now, investors are treading carefully, awaiting clarity from this week's economic data. 5. Inflation data from the Eurozone and China. Global inflation trends will also take center stage this week. Eurozone. On Tuesday, the Eurozone's December flash inflation report will gauge the region's price trends. Preliminary data from Germany and France, due Monday, will set the stage. Lower inflation would give the European Central Bank more flexibility to ease rates further to support Europe's struggling economy. China. On Thursday, we'll get consumer and producer price data. Recent trends show inflation remains flat, with producer prices in contraction territory. These indicators suggest that China's government stimulus efforts have yet to meaningfully boost demand in the world's second-largest economy. 6. National Day of Mourning. Finally, a somber note for the week. On Thursday, U.S. markets will close to honor the passing of former President Jimmy Carter, who played a pivotal role in American history. Carter's legacy of diplomacy, humanitarian work, and leadership will be remembered as the nation observes this day of mourning. So, there you have it, a jam-packed week of labor market updates, inflation data, and Federal Reserve insights. These events will set the tone for markets and economic policy in the weeks to come. Stay tuned to Zoom In News for all the latest updates, and we'll keep you informed every step of the way. Thank you for joining us, and have a great evening.